I had made this post online last week. It got a lot of traction, and it was actually kind of controversial, more controversial than I thought it was going to be. What inspired it was the Kendrick Lamar "They Not Like Us" track, where he called Drake a colonizer. And I noticed social media, they started going crazy with, "Oh yeah, you colonizer, DJ Vlad colonizer, Adam 22 colonizer." And I'm like, in my head, that's not necessarily an insult to me, in my opinion. Everybody has different opinions. So I want to read the actual definition of what a colonizer is, and then I want everybody's opinion on that. Because in my head, you calling me a colonizer, you're basically saying I took over something and imposed my will and my way of living politically, religiously, economically, however, through brute force, through whatever type of warfare, mind games, however you want to call it. And to me, that's a winner. I won. Because in nature, you're going to have winners, you're going to have losers. You're going to have alpha, and you're going to have the rest. People falling in line. That's just the way the world works with the laws of the universe, the law of opposites. Somebody has to be the dominant. So I want to be the dominant. So call me a fucking colonizer. Fuck you mean. But the actual definition is a country that sends settlers to a place and establishes political control over it. So let's just take LA, for example. If blacks was to take political control over LA via however we get it, I don't see a problem with that. Now, most people, when they think of colonizer, they automatically go to the worst tactic of the worst. Oh, they were rapists. Oh, they were pedophiles and this. But it's like, that's not the only way to colonize a people. Yes, people have done that, but that's not the only way. So when I say it's not necessarily an insult, I just mean you taking over and shit, you being a winner for your people, for your folks. Y'all running shit politically. How y'all feel about that, though? Do y'all agree?
Nah, I don't agree. I think it's more so the effects about what then went on with our own people. So it's looking at it like, nigga, you ain't no different from them. If you didn't come by brute force, nigga, you played cool and slithered in up under us, learned everything, and then did some faulty shit. So you wasn't who you act like you was, and now we seeing that. So I think that's more the colonizer. Now, if you just came in here on some guerrilla shit, like you say, and took over, then you gotta respect that. But niggas not doing that. Niggas is coming up under there. We welcome you with open arms, and then you stab a nigga in the back 3-4 times. Like, that's weak as fuck to me. But I look at it different.
How you feel about it, Short?
Well, so kind of like to piggyback off you, with the Pilgrim and Indian type thing. Indians is welcome, open arms. The Pilgrims came and did some slick shit, smallpox, kind of destroyed them in that type of manner. The way Kendrick was getting it, I think he was more so looking at it as, look, we real black men, you kind of an outsider that slither in and somehow, some way trying to take over the culture. You not doing it. You wasn't nappy-headed. You wasn't living in a rough area. You didn't have like the stigmatism of being like the poor black kid in the community. You kind of had a silver spoon in your mouth. And so now that you're trying to put this influence on the game, like as if you came in and you just taking over, nigga, you really didn't have no struggle. You didn't take over shit. You're not one of us. You fake. You an outsider, bro. You're not really part of the community.
Not only that, when you read the definition, right, it says a county that sends settlers to be a place, right, and establishes political control over it. I don't think there's ever been people that have done that in an ethical way. You get what I'm saying? So even that itself, like, it sounds good on paper, but I think in actuality and reality, a lot of atrocities are committed, you get what I'm saying, to
take over.
Yeah. So that's where people are getting at, oh, you a colonizer, oh, that's a negative thing, because historically speaking, I mean, it is. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, now, there's somebody, I wish I could remember who quote this was, because it's a great quote, but somebody said, nobody dislikes oppression, people just like being oppressed, right? Meaning, you don't like when you get colonized, but if you have the opportunity, you are going to colonize. It's what you're going to do. Like you said, it's just the natural aspect of life in this world in all species. Like it says, if you look at the second definition, it says ecology, a plant or animal that establishes itself in an area. So animals do it, plants do it, humans do it. It's a part of nature. Just nobody likes to be on the losing end. So of course, how we feel, like you said, how we feel, what we've experienced, we look at that negatively, like, because we been on the losing end for the last couple hundred years. So now we got a certain experience with it, like, nah, we don't like that. But give us the opportunity and we gonna do it to somebody else because we looking to get ourselves on. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm with you on what you saying. Like, really, is it offensive? And then, you know, it's just with that whole thing, just with the, not to get too much into Drake and Kendrick, because I know everybody been, it's just been all we've been talking
it's
about.
Coming,
You know,
I wanted to start with the serious topic so we can lighten it up later with the Kendrick thing.
I'm with you, but you know, I'm with you. You know, people only dislike it when they're the victim, you know?
That's a fact, because that's exactly what I was finna say. The only people who have a problem with it are the fucking losers. And we've been the losers. However you want to call it, like I always say, all's fair in love and warfare. You can put your feelings in it. Oh, man, you did me wrong. You snaked me. Nigga, like, it's chess, not checkers. You should have been thinking 3 steps ahead. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I feel about it personally, because if they gonna do whatever to win and you gonna abide by some invisible morals that, you know, you brought yourself to and you lose, I mean, that's on you. You know what I'm saying? To me, because whatever we doing, that shit ain't been working. So at some point, we gotta really look at what we consider morality, and hey, maybe we need to get in the trenches a little bit more, be a little more cutthroat. Because let's keep it real. We'll say shit like, oh, you know, it's not morally right, but then we gangbanging. We colonizing each other on blocks we don't own. So what the fuck is we really talking about? A motherfucker put a wig and a mask on and walk down on you in front of your kids and blow your brain out. Where's the moral in that? None. Motherfuckers shoot your mama up, your granny. Motherfuckers will shoot your kids behind some gang shit or behind their emotions, behind a bitch. Now the moral's out the window. So what are you willing to do for your people?
But everybody not standing on morals though. That's why the difference in somebody's character. Now if you a man that stand on morals and principles, it's certain things and lines you're not gonna cross. If we saying we should take any means necessary, then as men, then how we look at a rap? Because they did whatever they wanted to do to last or do whatever they needed. Did they play chess? Was they in a better space than the nigga that stood solid? Are you gonna view the rat as a better person because he chose to tell to get out the situation while the other nigga stood down? So who was really dumb and who wasn't?
Hell nah, fuck all rats, number one. I'm just playing the devil's advocate. I'm with you on the morals, principles, integrity. We preach that every week, week in, week out. So I'm with you on that. But I mean, as far as this battle for our people, you might got to get a little dirty out here.
But I agree to what you're saying, because it's more so, I'm just speaking as I know majority of the people are looking at it like we were saying earlier, from our perspective, that if we've been colonized and we've been through certain shit, but like you said, if the shoe was on the other foot, we wouldn't be giving a fuck. If we was on top running the game, niggas wouldn't be mad. It's like, it is what it is. Like you said, by any means necessary.
So something like that. It's basically whoever wins get to tell the story. So it's all about who comes out on top. So if you come out on top, you can kind of narrate the story how you want it to look in your eye. You know, prime example, by going to certain parts of the country, we had it in a certain way. But then if you take over, they can tell the story how they want to. So it's all about whoever wins, because then you can narrate the story how you want the details to be. They can say we savages and they took over to help purify the land. Now, guess what? We created a different civilization. Now we can tell our story because, you know, we made the change. But if the shoe was an opposite foot, savages tried to take over our land. No, we protect home. So it's all about who really wins the story to tell and narrate it.
Yeah, so my family come from Haiti, and when we did the revolution in Haiti, you know, the emperor, when he wrote the Declaration of Independence, he said, "I've rewarded these savages crime for crime." So what he's saying is, I had to become worse and more diabolic than Napoleon we was just talking about. I had to be more diabolic than him in order to beat him. And when you read about the actual details of the Haitian Revolution and like how we was getting down on them, it was gruesome. Like niggas was decapitating infants and putting their heads on staffs and walking in, so that was the first thing they saw, they baby's head on the staff. Think about the fear that came over them, but that's what they pushed us there. All the slavery and oppression, when you understand how bad the conditions was in Haiti, like our life expectancy was drastically lower than everybody else. And when you think about it, that's 1/3 of an island. We outproduced the whole world in coffee and sugar. So think about how hard they worked us, to the point where we said, bro, we finna get on some low down shit with them. That's the only way. So sometimes in order to beat a diabolic enemy, you got to become even more diabolical than them. You see
I
what I'm
agree with
saying?
that.
That's a fact. Now go ahead, bro.
No, I agree with that. I think in that instance, it's definitely 100% correct. But I think, again, when you're talking about Haiti and the revolution, is a very nuanced situation, right? Where like they didn't go there to impose their will on people who were helpless or were less than. They did it to gain freedom. You get what I'm saying? So I think the intention of why you're doing something and the reason behind it is also what you have to take into account when we're speaking on that definition of a colonizer.
Yeah, the only reason I'm saying it because our people, we're brainwashed to think inferior of ourselves. Even people using the phrase white superiority and thinking that's an insult. Do you know the definition of superiority? I just pulled it up. I mean, supremacy, excuse me. The state or condition of being superior to all others in authority, power, or status. So by you looking at a white person and saying, oh yeah, white supremacy, white superiority, colonizer, you're basically empowering them over you via your words. And words bring reality. They bring your words create reality. Yep. So by you constantly saying white supremacy, you don't know subconsciously you're programming yourself to think black inferiority. So I don't even like when people use that phrase. Like, what the fuck do you mean? I feel like I'm superior. Every man should. But people naturally will align themselves where they are automatically. Like, we put 10 men in this room. We gonna size each other up and everybody's gonna know, like, okay, he might be the dominant one. Or if not, we might got a battle for who the dominant one. And you, all right, then everybody, but you just colonized the room. You the dominant one. You know what I'm saying? So this whole shit, I'm trying to unprogram us from this mindset. Have the mindset of a winner. The way that they got, the way they look at us, why you think they winning? They believe that shit wholeheartely. That's why they winning.
That's a fact.
Yeah,
that's a fact.
Pretty much, bro. But we done talked about this already, bro. It's all about what we teaching, bro. We gotta be the ones to break the cycle. You know what I'm saying?
Words have meaning. Words have power. Yeah. When you write out a word, you spell it. Spelling. The key word is spell. You're setting spells in reality, in real time. So think about the words you say. That's why they say never talk down on yourself, even in a joking manner, because the universe don't understand you joking. It just understand what you saying.
Your mind don't know it. And your mind work like a computer. So it don't know the difference from what's right or wrong. So as soon as you tell it something, it's just like, all right, that's what you want. And let me start downloading that. And that, like you say, starts to create your reality. But even at the end of the day, I think it always goes back to knowing ourselves. We don't know ourselves. You know what I mean? So that's why. And people equate everything within themselves with material shit. So you basically judged off of what you got instead of what your spirit or your power is within yourself. So more people are gonna hate themselves naturally when they comparing to everything else that they don't got. Like, are you less of a person if you ain't got X amount of money or whatever the case it may be? But you know, white people already, I ain't gonna say white people, just other people who's got knowledge of self and knowledge in their mind to know certain things. They reading books that you wouldn't even think of at 12 years old. You know what I mean?
But that's where it should be no excuse no more. It's the age of information now. And that's why I feel like it should be no more like not knowing. We need to for sure change our priority and make that a priority of knowing, of learning. You know what I'm saying?
Even knowing, it's about the applying. You know what I mean? We can start learning a lot of shit, but if we don't know how to apply that shit that we know, then it still ain't gonna do you no good.